attack my combination. So we're still going to enter with the kick. So it goes 1, then he just moves. Then we circle on the other side. All I want you to do. Goes on at 80, I want it to come back at what? 100. So I don't punch and then admire my work. It comes right back. Comes right back. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, go. Intercept his incoming movement. I don't do it passively like so many people do. They stiff leg it. They're sitting on nothing but ligaments. They're not pivoted. They're not putting their quad into play to be an absorbance for the movement. They think that it's a passive type of defensive move. Again, we don't do anything passive. We're attacking his movement. So when he comes in, I attack it. Now I just sit down with whatever shot that I want from here. And then you can follow up with your follow-up shots. Okay? See, this is already there, man. Boom, already going. All right, here we go. What hand do I hit with? That's the lead hand. The foot and hand timing falls. If I put the foot over, what do I hit with?
Rear hand.
Yeah, so here, and that would be the cross. Okay, so tell your guy or your mid holder is tell you let's work on the front hand first. Okay? All I want you to do right now. And then you start tying in the rear hand. See? All I want you to do right now. Can we get that for? What you do? Replace it. Replace it. Replace it. Replace it. Going to be other stuff. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. This hit. Here's one. First hit sword is the snake. Snakes do not have fingers. So snake. Look how uncomfortable. Don't snake the stick. Here's that block. He snakes now. The other thing that here's to realize they try to think that they're going to just reach this out. Use the weapon, use your arm to push it, or to blow out block it, or to put a form block it. The key to this arm is in. Always in. But for training, you go past it. Does that make sense? Sorry. Okay, so that's called standard. So I go here, I try to hit his head, he raises it. I aim for the foot. Try to hit the foot. He raises it. I go here, take two. So I go punch out, and then the cross is right there. So I'm going from trapping range to kickboxing range. Follow me? So it goes in, slow motion, one, cross, hook, cross, this. Does that make sense? Okay? It's a lot more immediate response also. So when we do this for real, it would go boom, 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 boom. That's the reality of what that's jigga at its core. The rest is the art, right? You can go super slow wedge, stop it. Now, when I do this shot, the wedge is the eye shot. But if I run into something, that would be the next hit, obviously. Okay? But we don't have to make it combative right now. Right now, I just want you flowing with it. Wedge, slap it. Wedge, slap it. Wedge, slap it. Now, see this little hole here? That's where the wedge goes in. The wedge can be palm up. We call that tansa. The wedge can be palmed down. We call that junk style, or gong style, depending. And the wedge can be palmed down. We call it bill style. I predominantly do this one because I'm trying to hit the eye. I don't want to trap. I want to hit the eye. I want to hit. So I'll let you decide where your hand lands. Watch. That's tongue style. Tongue. Tongue. See how it collapses? That would get, we'll get into that later, right? So for right now, that's all I want you to do, okay? He said one thing too. If you're messing up on it, typically the first thing you should do, slow it down. Especially when we work on compound tracking or compound techniques, which is more than one. Just slow it down. I have a tendency to do stuff so fast because I want to shock at all of you guys, but in reality, in my personal training, and those that are around me a lot, I do stuff very slow, especially at the beginning. You see what I'm saying? I speed up progressively through it. Okay?
Faster than Tai Chi.
Yeah. So smooth is fast. That's the mentality. All right, don't make sense?
Sure.
So if he blocks the first one, he blocks the second one, I have to remove the boundary. And it would just keep doing that until I can finish the attack, right? Whatever that would be. Does that make sense at all?
Sure.
So if I do the G-tech and he retreats, so let's say I G-tech, he steps back a half step, and I'm just going to use the rail kick as so it goes 1, I'd have to go get him. Does that make sense?
Sure.
You can do a half step, full step, pendulum step, shuffle, whatever. I don't care. It depends on his distance gap. Does that make sense? I'm going to do the hook kick just as a point of reference. So it goes 1. See, no, I have to go get him. You can just step in and kick. You can shuffle off of one leg, which is just here. I don't care your delivery system, but the point is you have to follow that guy. Does that make sense? Sir. All right, finish up strong, and then we'll call it. Go.
A process here. He goes 1, 2, and then he throws the hook. And when I catch this, what I do is we did this yesterday. I hook the here, and all I'm gonna do is blast this bicep with an elbow. You see? Now he's gonna hold that mitt right by his face, and here's the bitch slap back fist right across, and I slap the groin as I do. Right? Yes, sir. All right. So 1, 2, 3. See, there's the groin slap from there. One more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to break the balance. See, overhands there. Hook, cross. He steps back. Kick. So we're here. There. That's fine. There's your disarm. I want you to cut through with it. You hit the body. Hand goes up. There's your fulcrum. See it? There's your lever. The hand goes up is what makes this work. If the hand's not up, look what happens. So I hit. If that's a blade, you can see bone. I mean, you know, it would probably lock that thing in anyway unless I cut through with it, right? So I hit and glue. I go up. The key is the round step. And then it's add your shots. Okay? You want to give it a shot?
Yes, sir.
You want to see this? I penetrate through the target. I push off the target. I don't do this. I don't go. Not for this kick. So I hit him as soon as the impact is felt. Watch what my hips do. They kind of reverse. Does that make sense at all? Push off of it. All right, punches work really good when their head is here. You see it? Not so good when they're on their feet, but when their head's here, punch all you want. So I'm here. Punch. I punch. He blocks it. I scoop it. And then I go back to punching. Try it. 1, 2, 3. Good? Mm-hmm. See. Roll the base, jump in. Just listen. Sector 1, Sector 2, Sector 3, Sector 4, Sector 5, Sector 6. Knowing the sectors decides what disarms are possible. In other words, if I go Sector 1, that's your snakes. But if I go Sector 2, there's your vines. That makes sense. Okay? If I go Sector 5, there's your strips. Does that make sense at all? You're not going to remember it, but at least you've seen it, so when you see it again, you're like, oh, I remember that. Makes sense? Yes, sir. I don't teach stick fighting. I teach this. But I start the student here because it's less scary. And as the student progresses, this gets shorter, 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 and then it becomes this. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
The motions are the same. Watch. 5 count. He cuts my limb. 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 He cuts the limb. He cuts the limb. He cuts the limb. Everything comes in. He cuts the limb. He learned that from this. Does that make sense at all? Okay, watch. What they don't understand is how a knife really works. Block it. Block it. Block it. I want you to block it. Does that make sense? And it's accidentally. An untrained person will go, and then you block and he'll go, oh, and then you're cut and you're bleeding. It can be accidentally. A knife doesn't care. A knife's not prejudiced at all. All meat is good meat. All right, so very similar thing. We're just going to step, double jab, cross, you see? So it goes, see? Now from here, I'm going to just step back in, cross hook, cross, and then 2 kicks, see? And then move. So watch. All I want you to do is this represents his face. Okay? When he throws the punch, you have to slip the punch. You have to have the boxer slip the punch. You can do it without the hand, or you can do it with the hand. Does that make sense? See, that would be the spot.
It's just a touch reference point. No, this is not how you're going to fight, unless you're in a movie called Enter the Dragon. We're just going to touch reference point. I pock south, and as soon as he blocks, I wedge. That's the part that I want you to get, because that wedge is so crucial when we talk about June fun trapping. So I want you to learn, as soon as he touches, the wedge is off. See, most people, this is how they approach trapping. They block, then they grab, and they hit. Well, that sounds great, but this is the problem with that. If I go to grab and he moves the hand back, I've lost it. The wedge is like water on a duck. Watch. He moves the hand back, beautiful, I pock south. If he steps forward, beautiful, I lock south. It's a sensor. It gauges his movement. Because who decides what you do in a fight?
The attacker.
The attacker does. Does that make sense? Unless you get a preemptive, which tomorrow, the first class of the day, the fight conference program, we do a lot of preemptive striking, which is just maybe hit and then go, right? So that way you dictated it. But as soon as he blocks or gets to the fence or puts his head up, now the way he responds is which will be your
forward motion with the G-text. I'm just going to I'm going to don't do a Ninja Warrior where I kick and kick again like I'm at some competition. I let it touch, and then I launch it again, and then I fall right back into place. First one. Second one. Intercept, touch it, the round kick hits, and I fall right back into place. Third one. One. Touch, hook kick. I like the back fist right after the hook. Fall right back into place. All right, let's see if we can get that. Once you kick, you want the kick to come down and you want to bend your knees and settle right back at your starting point. You don't want to kick it back up. You don't want to quick kick and really fly off course. So if you watch my legs when I do this, I'm right back into where I was. Right back to the fin, right back in the pocket. Okay? Okay? This is spin heel. All right. Grandmaster Bob Horton told me this when I was blue belt. This was some of the best advice I ever received. I was having a horrible time with spin heel kick, a horrible time. And my mom used to drop me off at school. I was like a martial art addict. Still am. But she would drop me off at school probably because she didn't want to, she wanted them to babysit me. So she dropped me off at 4, then picked me up until 9:30 every night. This was my life. And even in the kids program, I would just sit and watch the adult class. He let me in the adult program at 11, because he saw that he finally saw that I was determined. So at blue belt, I'll never forget. I wasn't getting it around fast enough. This is what he told me. Grandmaster Horton has one arm really. His right arm is he had polio as a child. By the way, this is also his instructor also. So that's kind of how we met. We both started with the same guy, although he started decades before me, right? So he told me this is what he did. He says, what I want you to do right now, he picked up that little arm, he goes, I want you to swing that arm, don't even worry about the other arm. He says, just swing it as fast as you can. He goes, and when you get good at that, shorten it up, just swing the elbow. When you get good at that, shorten it up, just swing the hip. Does that make sense? So velocity is important. When you learn to cheat the velocity, that's when you be able to pull it off. That make sense? Sir. All right, go. We have a bro foot, but we'll kind of warm it to it. So I just want you to do this. Then you do jab cross. Then you do jab cross tie cover. And then you circle. So that's the cadence of it. It's a very rhythmic type of thing, right? So we're going to go jab, jab, jab cross, jab cross, tight cover cross. That's one. This is going to really get your blood flowing, your coordination back, shaking some of that rust off. Keep your heads up, your jaw down, look through your eyebrows. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. My goal isn't to trap, my goal is to hit. But if I go to hit him and he puts up a head, I have to trap it so that I can go back to hit him. I don't stay there thinking I'm going to go. That's not how it's going to happen. I'm going to go one, and as soon as it does here, I'm going to hit this back fist again. Right? That's all I want you to do. And then that would be follow-up shot. But right now, I want you to, about 10 times pass over, very basic. One more time, watch. So it goes here, look at that circle. Watch what my arm does. See, don't move. This is what I'm trying to do. Or that's really, in reality, that's what it would be. But as soon as he touches it, it gives way. It gives way. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
I want to thank Mr. J. Bumpus. You guys don't. All right, flip this shot, and he's gonna let me hit the gut from here and say, "Ush," and then he pulls back, and then I do another head hook, see? Ush, and then I come back with 3. Ush, ush, ush. See it? That's the next one. All right, so it goes 1, 2, ush, 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 ush. Slow. 1, body hook, head hook, 3. Any questions? Yes, sir. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great way to set these spins up. I love throwing spins off of tie kicks. They don't expect it. And what's beautiful is, once you throw the tie kick on the way back, your momentum's already taking you in that direction. You might as well throw the kick. So, as I said, we want to work on accuracy. So this is throwing the spin kick barely past his face. If I can hit his mustache, I will. Okay? So, you go to tie kick. Then we'll do it again. Mr. J is one of my greatest actors here that we tried, so he's a little role play for you guys. That was close. Let's try it again.
Ush! All right, Todd, get something ready. All right, so in review before we ask this, I run into a ball. I'm trying to punch, put it together. That's what we're trapping you now. Does that make sense? Okay? So from here, I box out, wedge, slops up. Look at the back. Remember I told you when to punch? Remember the back foot? Watch the back foot. See the extension of the body? The penetration of the punch? Does that make sense? Okay, guys. So, from the Bajong stance, first one I want you to do is the step and slide. Okay? All I want to do is step a few inches with the front leg, and then I slide the back leg. So if it's 6 inches with the front leg, the back leg replaces it 6 inches. Okay? So, it goes step and slide back. 1, 2, and back. 1, 2, and back. I'll show a side view here. So we're going to step and slide. Step and drag, I usually tell the students, because it makes them understand that we're dragging that front leg. No, I don't want you to tear up your floor with it, but we're pulling it back into position, okay? The Bajong is nearly always the common denominator in Jeet Kune Do. No matter what footwork we choose, no matter what position, even if we have to switch leads, the Bajong remains the same. So even if the Bajong is one of the hardest components of Jeet Kune Do to master, it's actually one of the most basic concepts. The Bajong never changes. So I'm here. Step and slide, retreat. Step and slide, retreat. Show a different angle. Step and slide, retreat. Step and slide, retreat. All right, give it a go. Branch down. Same principle. The hits are there, obviously. Staple. Bring high as you can. Needed. Use your head as a post. Leg under. Twist. There's your lock. Practice that. I grab the shoelaces. If it was straight, the kick would be there, obviously. I fake it, I go. I hit. I lay back on this shoulder. Tight knees. Foot tries to touch my other shin. Grab my own fist and start ratcheting. Now, if you also, you can use the web of the hand to secure, and you also, I'm trying not to put this on so fast because it's very, very, very painful. You okay? You ready? Breathe. And you have a great ankle break from there. Give it a shot. The reality of it is it's cutting the limbs. See, we cut the limbs. We don't swap licks with sticks. One of my terms. When you hear other people use it, no, it came from me because they're starting to use it now on YouTube. It came from me. I was using that 10 years ago. We don't swap licks with sticks. All right? We get the limbs. And then if I need to go in, we will go in and do that later on. And we got a whole bunch of stuff we can do from there. Does that make sense? Can you share your ice cream, please? No. Okay, hold on. Really? Can I have some? What?
Happy?